Hi. I am finally, it's 6 o'clock, but I'm finally getting started for real for the day for the craft show. It's Thursday. Craft show is Saturday, so per usual, I'm waiting till the last possible minute to work on stuff. Luckily, I only have a few things left that I want to do. I was able to get a bunch of earrings made this morning and packaged up, and that takes kind of a while because I hand make all the packaging and but I got that done even after I had to make a emergency quick run to Hobby Lobby this morning because I originally made those earrings thinking I was going to, or half of them thinking I was going to use my Blackfish earrings, but I went to make them this morning, or last night rather. I went to sit down to make them, and I was out of almost all of my black jump rings except the really big ones that I have, which were not good for what I was gonna do. But then my cousin is coming to town today, or this evening, and she's coming to help me work the show, spend some time. It's her birthday weekend, so just spend some time with her. She's gonna actually help me take care of Ivy this weekend. I didn't want, my mother-in-law normally watches Ivy when I do a show, but I didn't want to ask her 2 weekends in a row. So my cousin was nice enough to spend her birthday weekend here. I'm looking forward to it. Ivy's really excited. Ivy's actually taking a nap, even though it's 6. She's going to sleep for about an hour now. I'm probably going to wake her up in a little bit, because she's so excited about seeing my cousin that she wanted to stay up, but there's no way she would have made it. She would have fallen asleep before she got here. So, yeah. So. Anyway, I'm finally sitting down at my desk right now. I'm working on, I'm just getting my packing list ready. So that I can kind of check things off and pack them up. Most of my stuff is still packed from last weekend, which is nice, sort of less things, but I have been in and out of the box, so I'm still going to recreate last weekend's packing list, that I have here, just so that I can go through and make sure I've been in and out of the boxes, so I'm going to make sure that I have put everything back that I've used. And so, yeah, so I'm going to do that so that I can get those totes packed tomorrow night and loaded in the car. Also, I have more to think about this time. This is the first time I've taken Ivy, so I'm going to have to make sure that I bring things for her. I'm pretty nervous, even though I'm gonna have help with her. I'm pretty nervous about how that's gonna go. I've been taking her, she's 3, so 3-year-olds don't really like to hang out in one place very long. So I'm trying to think of all the things I need to maybe keep her entertained. We have an iPad and it has her favorite movie already downloaded onto it. So we'll probably charge that up and take that. I'm hoping that she doesn't have a total meltdown, but we're taking 2 cars because I can't fit all of my stuff plus passengers in our car. So she's taking her car, and they're gonna, that way, if she doesn't have a meltdown, they can leave and go home or go to the park or do something else besides be at the show. I'm hoping that this is the first time they've done this particular event, but the Christmas show I did was with the Liberty County Chamber of Commerce. It was a really good event. It's the best show I've done so far, and it was my first one, so that was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, so I'm hoping, at that they had kids' activities, so I'm hoping they have some things to do that will keep her entertained. Also just have to think about more stuff when I take her. I have to think about, well, should I take a change of clothes, just in case. You never know. With toddlers, making sure I have enough snacks. But it's a food festival, so that's good. So I don't have to worry about taking as much stuff as I normally would. Making sure I have enough to drink. I personally ran out of things to drink this past weekend. But luckily, with this being a food festival, I think that's not going to be an issue. This past show, there wasn't anyone that had drinks available. And I brought 3 for myself and still ran out. Luckily, there was one of the other vendors went to a fast food. They had a couple people working their tent, so they actually went and ran fast food to get some lunch. And they came over and asked me if I wanted anything. It was really nice. I like that. It was very sweet. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I'm sitting down working on my packing list right now. I really like the system that I used last time. I just kept it in my planner. I took my whole planner with me. I just kind of kept it popped in there. Just kind of show you guys. I keep losing my planner clip, but I just had it popped in there like this, and I wrote things on there as I thought about it. I didn't stress out about it too much, so I'm just kind of copying that and thinking of anything else that I'm going to take this time that I didn't need to take. And I took notes last time on the other side of it. I like to do that. I like to take notes at least after the show. It was nice to be able to take notes. I kind of jotted things down during the show. Like I made a note to myself to bring a block of clay and I'll probably bring scrap clay for people to touch if they want to touch it, and not my clay that I want to use. Because I got a lot of questions about what polymer clay was, and I had to explain, how it works and what it is, and so I thought it'd be nice to bring something to show off. And then I just kind of made notes, funny notes. Like not to wear cloth shoes at that particular location because there was so much dew on the ground that my shoes were soaking wet. And they were wet all day, and it was kind of sucky, but it's okay. I made it work. So just notes like that. I like to do that. So it helps me prep for the next show. It also helps me know if I want to do that particular thing again. Or if I got asked questions about, do I offer certain things, I can kind of make notes and maybe kind of think about making that for the next show. And anyway, so that's what I'm getting ready to do right now, and then I'm going to sit down and finally finish the Celtic Cross that I swore I was going to finish last night, but I didn't. I'm going to finish it tonight, though. It doesn't matter how late I have to stay up. I have help with Ivy tomorrow, so I can be a zombie if I need to be. And then she's waking up and going to be staying up late, so hopefully she'll sleep in too. Yeah, but I want to get that done because tomorrow I'd like to just focus on making some smaller things. I want to make some more votives to kind of, like, right now as it stands, I have just enough to make the display look nice, so if I sell one it looks weird. I had ran into that issue at the Christmas show. I didn't have any, like, backup inventory, and I'd like to have at least a couple. I don't think I'll sell a whole lot, so I'm not going to stress out and probably make, 2 or 3. And I'd like to make some Easter stuff. It's pretty close to Easter now. This is first Easter's on the 16th, so I like to have something Eastery to offer. So I'd like to do that, and I'd also like to bring some more keychain planner charm type things. I have my zombie brains, which I have plenty of those left. I have 19, I think, still. Yeah, 19, because I had 20, and I sold one on Etsy. And I made a little snail, and I'm probably going to make maybe another snail that was actually really quick and really easy to make. I'll probably make another one, maybe a different color. And then I'm thinking about making some owls. It's something I made. I have a pair of earrings. I saw my earrings that I made myself a while back when I first started, actually, and I thought, that would be a good planner charm or keychain. And it's a cute little cartoon-looking owl. Pretty simple to make easy. So tomorrow I'm gonna focus on making those smaller things. Now that I have the earrings out of the way, and I'm hoping to finish this. And if I have time, I would like to make another vase. Probably another big one, but those take a while. So we'll see. We'll see how much time I have. We'll see how much... I'm hoping that I can get a lot done because I will have help with Ivy tomorrow and she won't be stopping me every 10 minutes asking me, Mommy, can you do this? Mommy, can you do that? That's part of the hardest thing. Usually I do all of my work after she goes to bed because it's otherwise I have to stop every 5 minutes and it's kind of inconveniencing and a little, it can be kind of annoying at times. Yeah, anyway, so that's what I have going on. Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to check back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back doing a wrap-up of the craft show that I just did this past weekend. It's actually Tuesday. I filmed this, I think, Saturday, but I rewatched it and it was very negative, very ranty. And now that I'm a couple days out from the show, I'm not as upset as I was, and I think I just kind of I was stressed out and had some issues with the show, that now that, like I said, now that I'm a couple days out, I realize it's not that big of a deal, and I actually did pretty well. I was gonna film this yesterday, which was Monday, but as you can maybe able to tell, the sniffles. I made the mistake Saturday of not taking my allergy medicine, and I've been paying for it. I was a lot worse off yesterday and Sunday than I am right now. Anyway, as I mentioned, I did kind of have some negative things to say about the show. It just wasn't very well organized. I kind of went maybe with too high expectations. I think with anything that you spend more money on than you're used to, which was the case for the show. This was an expensive show for me. It's by far was not an expensive show even compared to a lot of the other shows around town. But for what I'm doing right now as a beginner, it was a risk for me, and I just kind of, I think I went in with higher expectations than I would have normally. I think when you spend the more money you spend on something, the more you tend to expect from it. That's true with anything, I think. And, you know, I kind of talked myself out of it, but it was disorganized. We got there was no direction for the vendors, so the vendor area was kind of chaotic, and so that made the flow of traffic where it wasn't great. And I think the hours could have been a little different. It was dead until lunchtime, which it was a food festival, and I went in kind of expecting that. I even told one of the vendors next to me that people probably wouldn't show till lunch because it was a food festival. No one's gonna come to a food festival at 9 a.m. When everybody's serving, you know, lunch food. I think it had been later in the day and they maybe didn't open until 10 or 11 and went until 7. I think it would have been better because they ended it before dinner, so they really only hit their lunch crowd, I think. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that type of thing. I have done, and I have been a part of like the organizational standpoint of events in the city that we lived in before, and that was kind of like any type of food festival did tend to be later in the day, and to me that just makes more sense. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of the negative points of it, and I was a lot more upset about it. And then I kind of reminded myself that this is the first time they've done this event. They didn't know what to expect. You know, we didn't really know what to expect as vendors, and every vendor took a risk. And I kind of talked myself out of being upset about it. And I realized, because I actually did, considering that there was not a lot of foot traffic, I actually did pretty well. I didn't quite make my vendor feedback, but I did make some good contacts with some people that I hope will turn into sales in the future, and maybe even some custom work. And I made some contacts with some people who organize events about things coming up, you know, later this summer and toward the fall that I may not have known about before. And it was sorry, the Kraken is awake now. I don't know what I was talking about. Anyway, I think overall, you know, I did fairly well, like I said, and I had a good time. And Ivy had a blast. They had a bounce house. And she bounced probably 5 of the 8 hours we were there. My cousin was really great and helpful. She kept her hydrated and covered in sunscreen, and so she didn't get sunburned. I did. I kind of haphazardly reapplied my sunscreen, so I have some real great tan lines. I thought I was safe because I was under the tent, but apparently I wasn't under the tent in the shade enough. Speaking of tent, my tent broke, which is one of the things I was stressed out about. The tent that I had was a borrowed tent, and I was really worried that my aunt and my uncle who I borrowed it from were going to be upset that it broke. But luckily they were understanding. They know I didn't do it on purpose. It actually was a huge gust of wind that came kind of out of nowhere and took my tent, weights and all, and the frame broke. It was just bent when we went to put it together. It snaps in half, and I was kind of stressed out about how they were going to react, and also about how I was going to get another tent before the next show, because canopy tents can be kind of expensive, but I got it covered and handled, and I'm hoping maybe we can figure out how to fix my aunt and my uncle's tent. If not, then I'm going to owe them a tent too. So yeah, I have to figure out the tent situation. Not the tent situation, but the weight situation, because I thought 20 pounds of weight would be enough. I had 5 pounds on each leg, and clearly that wasn't the case. I think that I'm gonna invest in some of these weight bags I was looking at before, and they hold 40 pounds of sand or dirt, whatever you want to put in there, each. And I'm thinking that might be a good investment at this point, just because, one, I don't have to buy another tent. 2, you know, we live in a coastal area, so we get those random gusts of wind. There are a lot of windy days. So I think it would just kind of be a good investment and a good idea to have those. Also going to have to rethink my setup, because I spend the whole time picking things up that get knocked over by the wind, and the last event I had to pick vases and stuff off the ground. So you know they're sturdy, my vases, because they have hit the ground multiple times and none of them have broken. So that's a good selling point, is I can tell people that. But I don't know. But like I'm picking up the thing that I have my earrings on, and I'll cut in, you know, video probably before this of the setup, so you can kind of see that. So you'll probably have already seen it, but yeah, and that kept falling over, and I've now broken 2 pair of earrings because of that. So I'm going to rethink that situation too. But I have some time. The next event I have is not for me personally. It's a volunteer thing that I'm doing. So I have I have 2 weeks to figure that out and what I'm gonna do about those things and brainstorm, and hoping I can talk to my father-in-law and he can help me either come up with a more sturdy stand or an idea of maybe just kind of hanging them from the tent, but I'm afraid that they'll kind of flap in the wind. I don't know, so that's where I'm at right now as far as getting prepped for the next show, and those kind of afterthoughts from this show. Yeah, so to recap, overall I did really well. Made some great contacts. We had tons of fun. Ivy made it the whole time, which I was so proud of her. She only had one meltdown, which is great for a 3-year-old who's been kind of in the same area. I think having the bounce house there definitely helped. I don't think she would have made it the whole day without that there. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I don't know they'll do this particular event again at that price point. Or maybe when they've gotten more years under their belt, you know, and I might come back to it. Who knows? Because like I said, it wasn't overall it wasn't that bad of an experience. It wasn't the worst experience ever. But yeah, so anyway, if you enjoyed this, I was hesitating there. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and look for some more of these, because I do have a lot of shows coming up, and some time-lapse videos coming up soon. Look forward to seeing you guys again next time.